History lesson finished, let's move on to the discussion. Our first guest on this show is Emily, an artist with several years of World of Warcraft experience. Emily has been playing since Warlords of Draenor and has been consistently raiding for the past 2 years. Emily, say hello.
Hi.
And our second guest, Corey, is a seasoned RTS player. Corey has been in the Warcraft franchise since Orcs and Humans and is deeply entrenched in both StarCraft and Warcraft. Please welcome Corey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you both for coming and for being so generous as to donate your time today. We will begin the roundtable discussion proper here with Emily's view on the topic of today's show. As always, please remember this is a discussion, not a debate. That being said, Emily, the floor is yours.
Alright, so I'm supposed to talk about the Warcraft movie, I take it.
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew. I, as I've said before, thought it was extremely, firmly, very damned okay. It was not the most fantastic movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was certainly not the horrifying critical abomination that everyone seems to be acting like it is in most major review circles, and most major critics are acting like they would rather watch Batman vs. Superman again, or something similar, and I just didn't get that from it. There's the constant complaint that the movie made absolutely no sense, and while I admit things could have been explained better, I certainly don't think it made no sense if you had the ability to pay attention and listen to names. They really went out of their way to be like, this guy is this person. It was almost a little too in your face at times for me, where they literally have dialogue like, I am your queen. Oh, you are also my sister. They're actually just throwing it in your face. This is the relationship between these people. I thought effects were good, characters were decent, battles were a lot of fun. The movie was mostly very well shot, with exceptions. But you agree with me on those, Andrew. That's what I'd have to say about it.
Alright, let's turn it over to Corey. What did you think of the movie, guy?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I've been playing WoW since launch. I mean, it definitely helped, I think, knowing the lore going in, because it had a lot of, some of the references were one-offs and such, so there's an awful lot of Easter eggs for the fans, which was kind of nice. I'd say that as a movie set in the Warcraft universe, it was pretty good. There's so much lore, it's not the sort of thing that you can start in the middle. So it makes sense that they went all the way back, but it did, because they had to explain so many things, I think the pacing was a little erratic. Not quite as, this unpopular opinion time, not quite as erratic as, say, the last two Hobbit movies. But definitely not high cinema, but that's, I mean, is that really what we were going into this for? I thought the CG was amazing, enough that the human actors actually seemed like they needed a little development. But otherwise, yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it. I don't regret actually seeing it on opening night, and I don't regret paying to see it on opening night.
So the first topic we're going to cover was Warcraft, the beginning, a good movie? Not a good Warcraft story, or, you know, like a fantasy genre entry, but just like, overall, was it a good movie?
Mm-hmm. In the sense of, would I recommend it to someone as a non-genre film? As just a film upon its own merits?
Yeah. Without, if they had just taken the name Warcraft and the colon in the beginning off of there, and just said, this is a generic fantasy movie about orcs and humans. Well,
okay, but I'm just saying, we still have to view it from the lens of a fantasy genre film, in my opinion, because as a fantasy genre film, there's just people who are not going to like it.
How so?
People who don't like fantasy. People who just don't have time for that shit.
Why would they want to watch a fantasy genre film if they do not want to watch fantasy?
That's what I'm saying, Andrew. So I cannot fully recommend. It's okay. I guess what I'm getting at is it's very heavily a genre film, and there would never be a way to recommend it. Like, there's certain movies that I believe are like, everyone should watch X because it's just transcendently good of it's transcendently better than like being a heavily genre movie. This is a heavily genre movie. It's got goofy fantasy genre stuff. It's got, you know, tribal orcs and people in big chunky armor running around, regardless of whether it has the name WoW on it. Like, do you feel me there?
Yeah, I guess. I just have this image of some guy coming out of the theater really upset, like, there were no cowboys or slasher killers in this movie. Very upset by this.
Okay, what I'm getting at is there are movies that are just, you know, great film. Like, even Duncan Jones' previous really good movie, Moon, is just a great film, and I happen to think people should watch it on the merits of it being a great film, regardless of whether they like sci-fi, because they can get something out of it. It's wonderfully acted, it's wonderfully paced, it's visually great. This movie, unless someone told me they liked fantasy, I would not tell them to go see WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, Warcraft.
I mean, for what it's worth, I pretty much agree with you. It's a good fantasy movie. It's not high cinema. And
That's
I mean,
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not Casablanca. It's not Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's not it's not one of those genre defining sort of transcends that genre. It's good for what it is. And
literally the Ben-Hur of video game movies.
Well, that actually, it's funny you bring that up. I have to. That's actually a good point. That it is pretty much hands down the best video game movie so far.
Oh, very much so, but it doesn't have strong competition.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially since they cut Yui Bull's funding off.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really, really love the second Silent Hill movie. That one is very, very dumb.
Is it the second one or the third one that's shot kind of like a music video where just sort of things are happening in a slideshow of stuff? And it doesn't even go together and there's rarely even dialogue to tell you that this thing transitioned into this thing?
It sounds like you're describing Battlefield Earth.
No, the second Silent Hill movie was the one, what with the attempt to make the plot be both Silent Hill 2 and 3, also with incest, and the implication that this one town of 30,000 people had 2 functioning cults that no one knew about. With all the dialogue sounding like it was literally poorly translated from Japanese.
To be entirely fair, the movie I was thinking of, which is one of the Silent Hill movies I do know, in fact, was something we were watching late at night at a convention on the shitty hotel television options because it was the only thing on other than watching, like, Cheaters. It was like, we can watch Cheaters or we can watch This Is At Least Hilarious, though I have no idea what's happening. This is baffling. It was just baffling.
I will give it, though, that, like, this is not a movie that is so bad it's good. Mm-hmm. It's just so good it's okay.
And we're talking, what, Silent Hill here?
No.
Warcraft.
Warcraft. Silent Hill is so bad it's good. Like,
I thought Warcraft was ultimately successful as a fun fantasy movie.
Yeah, I mean, it hit all the right spots without being obviously tropey.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they spent an awful lot of time making the orcs even more relatable than the humans.
Which was almost a flaw.
Yeah. Oh shit, this is gonna make it sound like it showed. Duratan. Yeah, Duratan and Draka. Their little interactions, they had really awesome chemistry. Their actors were really, really good. And the interaction, like the little small action film quiet drama scene interactions between the orc leads were very, very well put together.
Orgrim throwing a rock at Duratan's head to get his attention.
Yeah. Little elements like that were actually really good cinema, I thought.
Very appreciated.
Because they I mean, there was a certain in retrospect, there's almost a heavy-handedness of we're trying to make you identify with these characters, but when I was in it, I didn't notice that at all. It just helped.
Ironically making them more human.
Honestly, the human side, if it weren't for that Khadgar actor who just oozed, I'm kind of a likable little shit, don't you love me? I don't think I would have liked them near as much. He just walks into the movie and he's like, I'm young, I'm stupid, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I was
Quick,
all
give
about
me $1
that
billion
guy.
for a startup.
I did, I was kind of losing it at that one scene where he was like, oh, look, a mysterious cloaked figure who is partially translucent inside of this ancient arcane library. Oh, it wants me to touch a thing? Not only shall I do that, I'll step it up and steal it as well. And I was like, no, that's how wizards die.
Not
Yeah.
with Khadgar.
He does certainly seem like the sort of person who you don't need to have a rogue around because he'll find all the traps.
Yeah, the high intelligence, low wisdom. And it was like, I thought, as an aside, the whole goddamn time, I was like, this is a really awesome Dungeons & Dragons movie, guys.
Yeah,